Hey guys, welcome to Oz Comic Con here in Sydney. What are we looking forward to the most here? Jill?
I'm looking forward to the Geek Fashion Show. It's a bunch of local designers that have created looks based on geek culture, so it's going to be cool.
Excellent. And Chloe?
Oh, definitely checking out the cosplay and having a walk down Artist Alley.
Excellent. And I'm looking forward to the comics and the creators behind those comics. So stick around, Kapow viewers, for some amazing content. Hey guys, I'm here with Douglas Holgate. Doug, how are you, mate?
I'm good, how are you?
Excellent. Now, is this your first time with Comic Con?
No, it's not. This is, I think this is my 4th year. I've been here since they started in Australia.
Wow, that's incredible.
5 years? I can't remember.
That's all right. How do you feel that Comic Con has evolved throughout these years?
A lot bigger. I think the first show was in Adelaide, and it was probably half the size, and now it's sort of on par with a few of the big international pop culture cons, so it's a lot bigger.
Yeah, and it seems to be growing bigger and bigger every year.
Bigger and bigger, yeah.
And your newest book, tell us about that.
The Last Kids on Earth and the Zombie Parade, written by Max Brollier. Post-apocalyptic story set in a fictional town in America. Basically a monster apocalypse has happened, and there's a bunch of kids who are surviving in a treehouse that's kitted out with all sorts of gadgets and weaponry, and they're fighting zombies and monsters and basically trying to survive.
It sounds like a great childhood.
Yes, and very funny. And pretty much in my wheelhouse. Young adult horror, basically. Yeah.
Great, for all ages, I guess.
Yeah, for all ages. Yeah, 8 to 13-year-old kids, but adults can read it. And
excellent.
Yeah.
So where did you begin as a young artist?
Wow.
Let's take us back there.
Back to the dawn of time. Well, I guess like most of the guys here have always been drawing cartoons, comics, etc. I was always that kid in class drawing cartoons on the blackboard and reading, the Sunday comics. Started reading things like Tintin and Asterix when I was younger, and then moved up into Marvel Comics. And I don't know, it's just always been something that I've been doing. So, and then I went to university after high school. I studied art at high school and then studied illustration at university, and then just went from there.
What would you say to young artists out there who's looking for a bit of advice? What advice would you give them?
Look at everything. Don't just look at comics, look at fine art, look at photography, look at movies, look at novels, the way that stories are structured. Look at filmmaking, the way a film's directed, the way it's lit, all that sort of stuff. Just look online. There's so many places online, like DeviantArt and Tumblr and Pinterest, where you can get inspiration and advice. So, it's going to be kind of cliched, and you'll probably hear it a lot, but it's basically keep working. Yeah. Keep working.
And you could find yourself at Comic Con.
You could find yourself well, you could, and it's very easy to get yourself a table and sell your stuff.
Excellent.
There's nothing stopping you.
Well, Doug, thank you so much for talking to Kapow.
Here we are with a guy that needs no introduction. It's Batman.
Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How you going?
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, a bit hot in there?
Very, very hot.
So tell me, did you make your outfit?
It's custom made out of the States.
Yeah.
UD replica. Thank you.
Are you enjoying the convention?
Love it.
Yeah, have you been before? Or?
Sure have.
Oh, okay.
Sydney, Melbourne,
Yeah.
Brisbane,
Oh, wow.
Perth.
Wow, the full tour.
Yeah,
And which show is your favorite?
Sydney.
Awesome, yeah.
It's my hometown.
Cool. Thanks, Batman.
You're welcome. Where is she?
We have the infamous Harley Quinn here, straight out of Suicide Squad. Hi.
Hiya, Puddin'.
So what's your name and did you make your outfit?
Laura, and I got bits and pieces from everywhere. The main kind of staples was bought online, and then all the other bits and pieces, the earrings, the hair, dyed my hair. So pretty crazy.
Now, I can't get over the fact that you kind of look like Margot Robbie as well. Is that what drew you to cosplaying Harley?
Kind of. It was a bit of everything. I just immediately fell in love. Always loved Margot Robbie, and I've always been a Batman fan. And when Suicide Squad came out, I was like, that's the outfit. That's the one I'm going to use.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think of all the variations besides the Jester outfit, I kind of really love the Suicide Squad one.
I love both. I like, I saw a kind of a mixture between the Batman animated series and this one where it was red and black, which that's going to be my next kind of project, is my own take on both of them, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for talking with us, and enjoy the rest of the con.
Cheers, have a good one.
I'm here today with Laura and Marshall. How's it going, Laura?
Really well, thank you.
So, what have you got here happening at Oz Comic Con?
At the moment, I'm actually running a Kickstarter. So basically, it is a campaign to create a book that's got sketches and artwork from the past 2 years from my portfolio, but I also have tips, tricks, and how I do my work from start to finish. Really cool. So it's only 5 days to go, and it's already met its target, which is amazing. But the best thing about it is I'm going to create extra stock, so if anyone misses out on the Kickstarter, that means that they can grab a copy from me as well.
Awesome! So it shows a little bit of the insight to your working process and how you create your final pieces, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So a lot of people ask how I use my Copic markers, how I do the rendering, or go, like I said, from start to finish of how I do a piece. So I thought this would be a really good way to actually showcase that to someone.
Yeah, fantastic. So do you find that a lot of people come and remember you from con to con and like seek you out?
Yeah, you get a lot of repeat customers, but the fact is there's such awesome people and I really love talking to them, and the fact that I've met so many cool artists as well. The amount of artists that I've met through the conventions, we've actually created like online platforms where we get to talk to each other, we give each other critique, and then if we have any trouble, like say if I run out of like paper bags or something like that, I can run to them and they can help me out. So, but the fact that we support each other and we can actually grow as artists together is such a good thing, and like I said, everyone here is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it's important that we've got that sense of community within the Australian artist community. So
Yeah. So I actually did a recent interview with an American podcast, and they actually said that they really appreciate the fact that we all have a really strong community, and I think that's really important, especially when it can get really hectic, as you can probably see today.
Awesome. Oh, well, can't wait to see more of your stuff, and can't wait to check out the book when it comes out.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey guys, I'm here with amazing artist Tristan Jones. Tristan, nice to meet you, mate.
Nice to meet you. Thanks, man.
You've worked on Aliens Defiance. How was that?
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, Aliens is what got me into comics. So working on an Aliens book at Dark Horse, it's really one big kind of Ouroboros.
Excellent, and it looks amazing. We actually reviewed the first issue, and we
see
all
that.
loved it.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much.
Your work has actually been used in adaptations of film, and you've worked with your own original stories with your art. How hard is it to adapt your own art to those styles?
I think sometimes it's harder than I think it's going to be. When I got asked to do the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff and Mega Man and all these other sorts of cartoon-centric properties, I'm like, it's an interesting choice because it's not something I'm kind of really geared towards and known for doing, really. But they had, a brief. They wanted like creepy kind of covers for it, and they saw that I could adapt my style to suit their visuals. It's always hard at first, but once you kind of get the flow of it, it rolls. And when you're under deadlines, you kind of just do it. So, yeah.
No, where did your inspirations come from as a young artist, working with all these amazing brands or just starting off?
It's weird for me because I started as a writer. My first sort of work was with Mirage doing the Ninja Turtles when it was black and white. And that was kind of interesting because when I was working on that was essentially work for hire on a creator-owned book. Because back then the Turtles were still independent. And I was working directly for Peter Laird. There was a lot of freedom in that. The freedom levels it's like working on a creator-owned book, but using my favourite characters. So that was kind of interesting. But then when they sold the Turtles off to Nickelodeon, that all sort of changed. So now I didn't have the writing work anymore. I had to kind of figure out, and because I wanted to write my own books with other artists drawing them, I kind of realised that I wouldn't be able to afford to pay the artists now that I didn't have the steady work, so I started drawing again myself, just kind of going, well, I'll have to do it myself. And that led to me being seen online and led to Ghostbusters, it led to Silent Hill. You know, everything kind of sort of snowballed from there. And now it's all kind of coming full circle because now, you know, God, nearly 10 years after the fact, I finally feel comfortable enough to go and do my own thing, and am comfortable enough with my own artwork where I can kind of go, all right, well, I can write and draw. Now I just need to kind of get comfortable with writing again. So it's an interesting kind of circle of events there.
Hey, I'm here with Bombshell Kitana and Bombshell Mera, and they look absolutely lovely. Hi, girls. Hello.
I'm glad you recognized us.
Yes, of course.
We have a group, but they walked off.
Oh, well, I have the two loveliest ones with me right now. Did you guys make your outfits?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how long did you spend all up?
A few days?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I spent a few weeks, but it was on and off. Yeah.
Check it out, guys. It's Sabretooth. How cool is this? Hey, what's your name?
Tristan.
Cool, Tristan. Did you make your outfit?
My wife did. So
What
yeah.
a legend.
She's done it for most years that we've been to these sorts of things. So
Yeah.
no, it's really cool.
That's cool. And this is like all real, right?
Yeah, real fur. Siberian wolf, I believe. So
Nice.
it used to be a jacket.
So authentic. And show us your claws.
They actually glow in the dark, believe it or not.
Nice. We'll see you coming. I can't say I've seen many Sabretooth
No,
cosplay. You're setting the precedent.
So
Thank you.
I am. I'm looking for Wolverine and I haven't found him yet.
Alright, you have to snip him out.
So I'll have to.
Hey guys, I'm here with the great Brad Walker. How are you, Brad?
I'm very well, thank you.
Is this your first time here at Sydney Comic Con?
Yeah, this is my first time in Sydney. I did Melbourne last year. I did Perth and Adelaide the year before that, but this is my first time in Sydney at all. So
How you liking Sydney?
I love it. It's beautiful. Yeah,
Beats Melbourne?
I liked Melbourne too, but I didn't have as much time in Melbourne, so I didn't get around much. But we went over to Bondi Beach yesterday, and we walked the coastal walk, and we've gotten out and around and been able to see the city some, which has been nice. So
Excellent, man. And how long have you been an artist for?
I've been drawing comics since 2003, but drawing all my life. I went to art school after high school and been drawing since I'm a little kid. So
Excellent. And what is your project that you've been working on recently?
I'm working on Aquaman for DC's Rebirth. We launched the book in June, and we're up to issue 6 now, chugging along, selling well, so we're all thrilled about it.
Excellent. And what attracts you to drawing for Aquaman? Underwater can be quite strenuous on some artists. How are you finding it?
I love all that. I love drawing wildlife and landscapes and environments and things like that, so that was a big draw for me. And just the scope of everything that Aquaman can be. You know, it can be a superhero comic, it can be a fantasy comic, it can be a political comic. You know, you can kind of go in any direction with him, and you can do it all at one time. And that in and of itself was really appealing to me. So
Yeah, excellent. And are you looking forward to the new Justice League movie coming out?
yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. I thought the first trailer was good. So, you know, fingers crossed, we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. And what would be your advice to young artists out there?
Draw every day. Draw what you like until you get better at that, and then learn to draw everything. Especially, you know, for comics, the unique thing about comics is you have to draw everything. You don't really get the option of, you know, a fine artist can say, I just like to draw figures or faces or fruit. A comic artist, at the drop of a hat, you have to be able to draw a car, a building, fruit, you know, people, expressions. You have to draw everything. So learn to draw everything and do it every day.
Excellent advice. And as a young man, what was your inspirations for drawing?
I read comics like crazy, and I had favorite artists after favorite artists, and I would copy them, and I'd move on to somebody else, and I would copy them, and after a while, you sort of develop your own style, and it just naturally comes out. And you know, that's another piece of advice that I would give to an artist is, to a young artist, feel free to not be original, but don't stray away from it when it starts to come out of you. You know, don't angle too hard to be anybody else, because your most successful self will be when you are yourself.
Great advice. Brad, enjoy Comic-Con. Thanks so much for talking with Kapow.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
You might be wondering, how is this different to a cosplay competition? You've got a bunch of nerds, everyone's sewing and making stuff and wearing it, showing it up on stage. What's different about a fashion show? So what's different about the Oz Comic Con fashion show is that these guys are creating fashion. So whether it be couture or everyday wear, these are clothes that really unleash your inner geek and express fandoms that they really care about.
I'm here with Joanna Krebs. She just came second in the very first geek fashion show here at Oz Comic Con. Hi, Joanna.
Hello.
Now, are you excited about coming second place?
Yeah, I'm ecstatic, really.
That's amazing. So, how long have you been sewing?
6 years, I think. Yeah, not long.
Okay, cool. And like, have you always like started out as fashion sewing?
No, I'm home taught from my mum, and I'm still in school, so.
Okay, yeah.
Learning between school.
What year are you in at school?
Year 12.
Oh, amazing. Tell us about the costume. What sort of fabrics have you used?
So the skirt's hand-dyed muslin, so we all dyed that, and so is the shoulder, that's all muslin.
Yep.
This is ribbon, and it's woven into cubes, as you can see. And this is lining fabric that's just been pleated up, and it's on the back as well.
Beautiful. And now you've used quite a few like techniques that you don't see every day.
Yep.
Is that something that you were also self-taught?
Yeah, by the internet. In the last few weeks making this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's a big like learning experience making this outfit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All new.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you all the best in your future.
Hey guys, I'm here with John Sommariva. How are you, John?
Very good, thank you. I love that intro. Great.
Anytime. Is this your first time here at Sydney Comic Con?
Oh, no way. I'm a vet. I'm an old school vet. I've been doing the Oz Comic Con shows ever since the very first one. Love coming to Sydney, obviously. It's my hometown, so nice to see all the local familiar faces and that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's good.
Excellent. And you're doing something with Batman and something with TMNT.
Who would have thought? It's an amazing combo of characters, you know, and dream project, obviously. I feel very lucky to have been asked to work on that, and I'm having the time of my life, actually, having a ball drawing it.
Is there any difficulty finding the synergy between the new adventures of Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming together? Is there a little bit of crossover with how different characters should look, or what's your thoughts about that?
Well, basically, look, with that sort of thing, it's almost like a matter of the less you think about it, the better. So I'm not trying to get too caught up in, really trying to capture the exact style of those things. I'm lucky enough that my kind of style translates to it pretty well, and that because I'm drawing my way, it's sort of unifying it all together. So I really feel like the stuff that we're coming up with, it really fits in its own world, and it's very true to the Bruce Timm stuff, and it's very true to the Nickelodeon version of the Turtles. So yeah, I think they blend perfectly, actually. And I'm so excited for people to see, what it looks like when it comes out, because it's going to be very unique, and it's a good chance for me to show what I can do.
Who do you think would win, Batman or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Are they going to be having a little bit of fight at the beginning of the first issue, maybe, or?
That would be a spoiler, my friend. That would be a spoiler. But look, let's just say there's a little formula to these kind of crossovers, and I don't think we're going to stray too far from that. But who would win? We're going to have to wait and see, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And how long have you been an artist for?
I like to joke that I was actually putting up graffiti tags inside of the womb, actually, when I was a fetus, a mere fetus. How about that? You never thought you were going to hear about fetuses today, did you? But I was drawing since I was 4 years old. I've got drawings since back then where I was drawing Star Wars stuff and all that. But professionally, I've been working in comics since about 2002.
Yeah, excellent. And who has been your inspirations throughout this time?
I started out, like, as I said, with graffiti art, with a little mention before. I used to just love seeing that. It would really get me excited about drawing. I love Disney cartoons. Then I discovered comic books, the Image guys, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, Chris Boccello, Joe Matt, all of these guys, they really just got me excited about drawing when I was a kid. And I used to buy those comics, and once I got into it, I decided this is what I want to do, and I went for it, basically.
Excellent. And what is your advice to young artists out there?
If you really want to do this, if you love drawing, then just never give up. Just keep doing it. Keep practicing, because and this goes for anything in life. The more you do it, the better you get. This guy here, he's done a lot of interviews. Now he's really good at it. You see what I mean? That's how it works. The way he holds the mic. It's you can do this. Like whatever you want to do, you just practice it, and practice makes perfect. You'll hear that all the time, but it's true. It's just a fact.
No, great advice. Thank you so much for talking with us at Kapow.
You look insanely amazing. What's your name and who are you cosplaying?
My name is AstroKerrieCosplay and I'm dressed as a Barbarian from Diablo 3.
Fantastic. How long did it take you to make?
I made it over a year ago, I think about a month and a half.
Month and a half?
Yeah, if I can remember correctly, yeah.
That's impressive work. We're here with Ardella, who's dressed as a Ghostbuster and is actually smoking.
Nice.
So tomorrow you're in the Nationals competition. Are you excited?
I'm so nervous, like genuinely freaking out about the competition tomorrow. There's so many people here and my dress is huge and it's got a train that goes on the floor, so I'm expecting it to get trodden on. I hope it lasts until at least the competition.
Oh gosh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So do you have like any advice for people that might be wanting to enter a huge comp like that? Because I'm sure it's quite intimidating.
It's genuinely very intimidating no matter how many times you do it. And I think that's it. The important thing to remember is that even if someone there looks incredible, even if someone who is entering, makes you feel intimidated because they're so good, they're nervous as well. They're in exactly the same boat as you. So just go in to have fun. And if you've had fun, then you're already winning. That's the motto of cosplay as far as I'm concerned.
Awesome. Well, good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks for
I'll need
joining
it.
us.
Thanks.
So guys, we're here at Oz Comic Con. You may be thinking comics, content, cosplay, and now beer. I'm here with Wombat from Young Henry. How are you, mate?
Very well, thank you very much.
And this is a delicious brew, let me just say.
Awesome, yeah, so this is our, we call it the Dr. Rottpfeifer. It's a Vienna lager that we've brewed especially for Comic-Con. So the Comic-Con approached us and said, do you want to be the official beer of Comic-Con? And we were like, yes please, that would be very fun, thank you very much. We've got a lot of big comic book nerds at the brewery. Our head brewer, Ben, is a very big, in fact he's sitting over there playing Magic the Gathering at the moment. And he actually came up with this recipe. So you can see it's a slightly darker beer. And we teamed up with Doug Holgate, who did some artwork for it. So he kind of helped us develop this character called Dr. Rottpfeifer, who's sort of loosely based on the Pied Piper, I guess. So that kind of Germanic influence a little bit. So Dr. Rottpfeifer. But yeah, so we decided to make it a Vienna lager, and we've sort of managed to kind of match the colour scheme of the beer with the artwork that he's done.
And it tastes delicious, let me just say, mate.
Thank you very much.
So this is your first year at Comic Con.
It is, yeah.
Will you be continuing to have a presence in the future?
We'd love to. I mean, we did this year. We did Melbourne, and we're here now. We're heading to Brisbane later on. So it's the Comic Con for all of this year for Oz Comic Con. So we'd love to do more stuff like this as well, though, because I mean this is kind of a left turn for us a little bit. Like mostly we put a lot of effort into doing beer festivals and things like that. But being able to do an event like this is awesome for us, because we're talking to people who are really interested in the brand and may not have heard of the brewery before, which is so much more valuable than going to a place where everyone's already heard of you and they're just here to have some beers. Everyone here they're certainly here to have some beers, but they're also learning about your brand, and you're talking to new people, which is really cool for us. And we also get to go to Comic-Con, which is pretty bloody good.
It's pretty amazing.
So if you make a nice beer for them, they're really appreciative about it. So yeah.
And it is a nice beer.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, Wombat, thank you so much, and hope to see you next year.
I'll be here either way.
I'm here with Katie Hollywood from Gestalt Comics. So Katie, tell us a little bit about what you're working on right now.
I'm working on my latest graphic novel through Gestalt Publishing for Heavy Metal magazine in America as well. It's my collected works of my female superhero. It's kind of a supernatural thriller.
How did you get into doing creator in comics?
I was always passionate about alternative and creator-owned comics from a very early age, and I decided that I had some stories that I needed to tell, and I hadn't read any of the stories that I wanted to read. That I thought I better write them so I can get them out there. Yeah.
Awesome, that's cool. So do you have any advice for people that might be aspiring to do something like you do right now?
Study comics that have come before you. There's an incredible lot of masters like Jack Kirby, early Frank Miller, Mike Mignola are artists. Just go into comics, listen a lot, ask a lot of good questions, and go to conventions, show your work, and get your folios reviewed, and start there, I'd say.
Oh, fantastic. So where can we find you if we want to look for your work?
Well, you can find my work through Gestalt Publishing here. Also, I'm published through Heavy Metal magazine in America as well. So if you Google KT Hollywood or Katie Houghton Ward, a list of my publishing works have come up.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
For fans of Pokemon, you may recognize these characters. They are the Evee-lutions in the most glamorous form I think I've ever seen. We have Leafeon,
Sylveon, Umbreon, Vaporeon,
and Glaceon.
Now, all these girls have made their outfits. It's just absolutely insane. How long do you guys think you spent on each of your outfits?
I started last week.
Oh, okay.
I've been collecting things over the last few months, but actually working on it maybe the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I forgot I had this ready, so I had to kind of like slap it together in the last week or two.
I tried planning ahead and it kind of worked out, but I still felt like I was doing it last minute, but probably roughly, a couple months, I'd say.
I think it was the last 2 weeks, so none of us have really had any sleep at the moment.
Well, for cosplayers that I think are pretty much seasoned, we leave things to the last minute. And look at the results. This is insanity. They look incredible. Congratulations, girls. You look amazing.
Hey guys, I'm here with the amazing voice artist, Rayle. How are you, mate?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here in Sydney.
You did the voice for Raphael, Starscream, Ms. Piggy. What combines them all? How do you find the essence in all these characters?
Well, that's a difficult question because Raphael is not anything, and I didn't do Starscream. I did Snarl, Dinobot.
Shrapnel, the Insecticon.
Pipes, the repair bot. Skuxoid, and
Primacron. Woo-ha! Miss Piggy. Gonzo the Great.
Animal! The voices, they all have to come from their own place. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to have what they call voice separation, where hopefully it doesn't sound like the same person is doing all these voices. But, the great thing is when you have that, you get the chance to be able to do stuff. Now, with respect to the voices that I do, I was lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time in Hollywood. Yeah.
How do you keep your voice so high on its game when it's your livelihood? How do you keep it so fresh for every time you have to go in there? What do you do to keep that voice in check?
Well, mostly, the worst thing that we have to worry about is a cold. So we try to keep ourselves away from a cold. A little bit of beer is always good to relax the throat. So now you know, Australia, everything you're doing is research and development. But mostly, if it hurts, you're doing it wrong. So it's just like playing an instrument. You learn where the frets are, you learn where the tones are, you learn how to be able to pitch it up, pitch it down, pitch it in the face, pick it in the chest, or wherever you want to have it. But if you're doing something and your voice hurts, you're doing it wrong. The key to most voice work is less is more. So you don't want to project so much. You want to be able to keep some things sotto voce so that you have some place to grow to should you become more electrified or cause more energy depending upon how the script goes.
Excellent. And how long does it take you to get that voice correct?
Well, usually they bring you in, they show you a piece of script, and they say, what voice do you think fits here? What I have a tendency to do is to blend voices and try to figure out if I put this kind of a character, a hint of this with a little bit of this and a sprinkle of this, maybe it works. And then the producers or the directors or whoever it is makes the decision on what voice they want to have. In the case of the Muppets, I had worked with Jim Henson and Frank Oz in New York, and they knew who I was. So then when I was in LA, they called and said, we want Hal to audition for these things. So I auditioned, and then in that case, you're sounding like the original characters. In the case of Snarl, the Dinobot, they said, okay, what would a Dinobot sound like? And I just kind of came up with Dinobot. Shrapnel, the Insecticon, the only thing I knew was that it had a repeat to its voice, so Electron. So I put a little whisper at the end of it, and you never know. I mean, you just throw it out there, and if it's al dente, it sticks.
Hal, thank you so much for joining us with Kapow. Have a great day, mate.
I will do that. Thank you very much, Australia. Crikey, it's great to be down under.
Here today behind us, Harley Davidson and Marvel, who have gotten together to make some custom bikes.
Hi guys, we're here with Ken Lashley, amazing artist that's worked on titles like Uncanny X-Men and SupermanVDoom. Welcome to Australia.
Oh yeah, it's been awesome. I'm Tmnt certified now.
Awesome.
I 100%. I am 100% in love with that stuff.
You've got like a huge stash under the desk here.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
So Ken, tell me, how did you get started in comics?
Oh, I started in 1993. I was just a baby at the time, and I started in a book called Excalibur for Marvel Comics, and then about a month after that, I started Age of Apocalypse. It was one of the first big things I worked on. I've gone to Marvel and DC. I've gone back and forth. I'm currently working on Marvel Comics and Uncanny X-Men, but my first cut my teeth on Marvel Comics 1993.
Amazing, yeah. So you like applied like everybody else and made the cut?
Not really. It was a wild, wild west back then. So what I did was I met a guy in Toronto, Mark Asco. They had a TV show called Prisons of Gravity where they talked about comic books and that kind of thing. And he saw my portfolio and thought I was good enough to, take it to Marvel and show it. And I showed it to Marvel, and I got a few job offers the first day. And the first one, people think I took Excalibur because it's an X-Men book, but I took it because it was actually the first people that called. But I started in the X-Men office, and I've been working pretty steadily for the last few years, I would say.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really cool. So what brought you to Australia? Is this your first trip?
This is my first time to Australia. I brought my family because they wouldn't let me go without them. But it's been a great experience. I've been fortunate to have been asked a few times to come to this show. I've had to pass because of just commitments. And this is one time I just couldn't pass it up. So this has been a great experience. I am, as I said, I'm Tmnt certified. I'm going to do some other stuff. I'm going to see some koala bears and do that stuff. But I'm totally jet lagged. I'm like in my hotel room going, I need to go to sleep. But this has been a great experience. It's been amazing.
Wonderful. Well, we're happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you very much.
And hopefully next time you're out, everyone will know to bring you Tim Tams.
I would hope they would know by now. Actually, I already got a huge bag, and you're sitting on actually, she's not sitting on a chair. That's actually Tim Tam. That's how much I have. But you can't have any because there's no duplicates. I love it.
So you're currently on Uncanny X-Men. Do you have any upcoming projects you want to talk about, or is it all a bit hush-hush?
It's so hush-hush. It's comics is weird like that, but it's sort of, I'm doing a really cool arc on Uncanny X-Men. Yeah. It's kind of really hush-hush, but it's really, 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 really cool. Okay. I'm doing covers for Extraordinary. I'm doing covers for Uncanny. I'm also working for doing some stuff for Lion Forge and doing some new things with them. So I'm having some fun. I'm also working with Hasbro. I work with Hasbro toys. I worked on Valorverse. I do a lot of Star Wars stuff and G.I. Joe and Transformers. I do a lot of the box art. Yeah. So I'm doing a couple new lines for them. It's kind of hush-hush. Figure it out. New stuff coming out. Figure it out. But other than that, it's pretty good. I've been working on some really cool stuff. Things are good.
Well, we look forward to seeing it, and all the best for the future, and hopefully we'll see you back in Australia soon.
Oh, I would love to come back to Australia. And I love your costume, by the way. Awesome cosplay.
Thank you.
Classic. Classic.
Thanks, Ken.
Anytime.
Thanks for joining us at Sydney Oz Comic Con, guys. I hope you've had as much fun as we did. And until next time, we'll see you again on Kapow.